Ringo Starr, the drummer whose steady beat helped define the Beatles, has always been more than a smiling face behind the kit. Over a career spanning decades, he has observed, absorbed, and quietly measured respect in the world of music. At 84, he reflects on 6 bands whose choices, sometimes challenging, sometimes thought-provoking, taught him lessons about artistry, integrity, and the values that matter most to a musician. The Rolling Stones, friendly rivalry in the swinging 1960s, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones were England's twin musical sensations, often portrayed as rivals in the press. Behind the scenes, tensions sometimes simmered. Ringo remembers moments when rhythm sections metaphorically butted heads, an unspoken test of patience and decorum. For him, music was never about ego or outshining someone else. It was about groove, feel, and collaboration. While he exchanged polite words over the years, Ringo maintained a subtle distance, understanding that true artistry doesn't need to prove itself through rivalry. Oasis, admiration meets authenticity. By the 1990s, Oasis stormed the music scene with swagger and stadium-filling anthems, and inevitable comparisons to the Beatles followed. Ringo noticed, however, that the Gallagher brothers' homage, though spirited, sometimes felt hollow. Respect, he felt, must be earned, not borrowed. Rather than confront them, he chose quiet observation, allowing their passion to play out while preserving his own sense of artistic integrity. The Sex Pistols, shock over substance. Ringo always appreciated raw energy, but the Sex Pistols' chaotic approach clashed with his philosophy. Their focus on shock value and provocation felt empty to him. Music, he believed, is about connection, shared experience, and meaning, not just spectacle. By keeping a careful distance, he protected both his principles and his reverence for the craft. The Monkees, the limits of imitation. The Monkees were conceived as a television product crafted to emulate Beatles' charm for commercial gain. Initially, Ringo found their gimmick amusing, but their reliance on studio musicians and media comparisons eventually crossed a line. To him, music demanded honesty and dedication. He politely declined collaborative overtures, standing firm in the belief that authenticity cannot be faked. The Beach Boys, admiration with boundaries. Ringo held immense respect for the Beach Boys' harmonies and Brian Wilson's genius. Yet a dismissive comment from Mike Love about live performance left a mark. For Ringo, live music was sacred, a space where connection and craft mattered most. He continued to admire Brian, but maintained boundaries where words and attitudes betrayed a misunderstanding of true musicianship. Led Zeppelin, strength versus subtlety. Led Zeppelin's thunderous sound impressed many, but Ringo valued restraint and nuance over sheer power. A playful drum challenge from John Bonham highlighted his perspective. Music should serve the song, not showcase brute force. He appreciated their skill, but remained unshaken, emphasizing that impact comes from intention, feel, and connection, not volume alone. Through these encounters, Ringo Starr's reflections reveal a musician guided by principle, empathy, and discernment. His quiet wisdom reminds us that true artistry is not measured in noise, fame, or imitation. It is felt, shared, and respected.